Hi guys, welcome back to the Social Tune, and it is a brand new episode of Retrospective Rambles. Yeah, this was meant to be a regular series, I swear to God, but every single time I try to make it regular, something in my life pops up and it goes on hold again. So this time was our longest hiatus to date, but you know what? I thought, let's just start off 2019 right by starting another series back up that a lot of people seem to enjoy for some reason. Even though, again, this is basically my rambling series. There's no structure to it, but for some reason people seem to like it. So thank you guys for watching, and for any newcomers, I hope you appreciate it too. And with all that said, let's take a look at today's song, one that has been requested for months now, and that is Caroline by Aminé. Now, you may notice that I called him Aminé, and yes, that is actually the way his name is meant to be pronounced. In interviews, he's actually been asked multiple times, "Oh, are you a fan of anime?" And no, he's made it very clear that that's not where his name comes from. I think it's an African name or an Egyptian name probably originally. Yeah, according to his dad, it means like he lives or something like that. But either way, that's the first common misconception out of the way first. Now, this guy has only really had one big hit, and that's this one, which he had in 2016. And to be honest, when it came out, a lot of people were mixed on it. Because on the one hand, it's got a strange jazz rap feel to it that really sets it apart from a lot of the typical trap songs that we were getting back in 2016. But at the same time, the lyrics were a little bit questionable for a lot of people. Like, there were some that didn't seem to make sense, or some that were really corny and silly, while others seemed almost mean spirited. And I think this song is kind of a mix of all those things because, on the one hand, it is kind of dedicated to this girl, Caroline. And a Caroline, in his words, is just the perfect girl with the perfect proportions and who can what was it? Who can blow a pipe like no other. Yeah, you can guess what that means. But what I actually like about this song quite a bit is that it has a self awareness and a sense of humor to it. You can tell by the way both Amine talks about the song and the cadence he uses that it's not meant to be taken seriously, and he knows how silly it is. And unlike, say, a song like Coco by OT Genasis, which is also not meant to be taken seriously, it's still, the technique is still there. You can definitely tell with some parts of the song he'll speed up his flow for just a couple of bars, and it actually does sound pretty impressive. And on top of that, the singing that he uses, he's flat out admitted in interviews he can't sing, but he kind of has a fairly decent voice, and it'll get weirdly romantic for about two or three sentences, and then go right back to, oh, I'm still the best. There's a line on there about how you guy are 98 degrees and I'm 300. And again, there's just something about it. There's the fact that it's kind of so freeformed and off kilter, but it feels intentional. It doesn't feel like he's just rambling. The fact that there are moments where you can definitely see some skill show, which kind of puts the other moments where he's kind of going for something a bit more simple into perspective. This is not a song I liked back in 2016. I actually wasn't a fan of it at all. But just in retrospect, every time I've gone back to it, and I have gone back to it a fair bit, I do weirdly like it. Even the more mean spirited moments feel cathartic, or at least feel like he knows they're mean spirited and he doesn't fully mean it. Again, I may be deconstructing this way too much. There's a line on here about how he's tall like a giraffe, which, again, it's a silly line, but he delivers it in a way that makes me think that he knows it's silly. But either way, yeah, I actually kind of like Amine. I'm not gonna lie, and I think the other stuff he's done since then has been decent, has been pretty good. I'm not gonna say he's one of those guys who had one hit and then had a huge career with a huge fan base behind it all. Even though he's got quite a decent following, but still, I think he's a decent performer. I think he's actually pretty good. And if he did have another hit, I honestly wouldn't mind. He's got a good sense of humor, a great sense of melody, and he's got a slightly more original style than your typical trap artist. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Caroline by Aminé. Leave your own thoughts on the song in the comments down below. I know this has been requested for ages at this point. And also, if there are any other suggestions you have for songs from the past that some people may have forgotten that you'd like me to just ramble on about, then post them down there as well. And yeah, that's it for today. Until the next time, I'm Finn, and this is The Social Tune, signing off.